In order to evaluate any limit, the simplest technique is to plug in the value that x is approaching. In this problem, x is approaching 0, so we can go ahead and plug 0 in for each of the x's present in the function. If we simplify this further, we're going to see that the limit is equal to 0 divided by 0, because the sign of 0 is in fact 0. And 0 minus 0 in the numerator would give us 0. This is an indeterminate form. It's one of many of the indeterminate forms presented in this section, and in order to evaluate the limit of an indeterminate form, we have to apply L'Hopital's rule. So to apply L'Hopital's rule, we simply take the derivative of the numerator and the derivative of the denominator and rewrite the limit. Now the derivative of sine of x, of course, is cosine of x. And the derivative of x is 1. The derivative of x cubed is 3x squared. So after taking the derivative of the numerator and the denominator, we can once again plug in 0 and see what result we obtain. The cosine of 0 is 1, so we can write the numerator as 1 minus 1. The denominator is 0. And so we're actually left once again with an indeterminate form of the type 0 divided by 0, so we can apply L'Hopital's rule again. In fact, you can keep applying L'Hopital's rule if you keep coming up with indeterminate forms. So let's go ahead and take the derivative of the numerator and the derivative of the denominator. The derivative of cosine of x is equal to negative sine of x. The derivative of 1, or any other constant, is simply 0. And then the derivative of 3x squared, of course, is 6x. Let's go ahead and plug 0 in. Since that's the value that x is approaching, we get negative sine of 0 over 6 times 0, and lo and behold, we get the same indeterminate form again. So let's apply L'Hopital's rule one more time. Let's take the derivative of the numerator, which would be negative cosine of x, and then the derivative of the denominator would just be 6. If we plug 0 in this case, we're finally going to get a result that is not one of the indeterminate forms. So we plug in 0, we get negative cosine of 0 over 6. The cosine of 0 is 1, so we're actually left with negative 1 divided by 6, and that is the final answer.